Okay, we're going to take a look at Skitch 3.1, which was released in January of 2014. When you launch Skitch, it comes up in the same mode that it was last looking at, and I'm going to choose New in the upper left, and it goes instantly into my camera roll. There is no Skitch library anymore. You pick a picture, and I'll pick the Red Sox from your camera roll. There is no longer any Skitch library. So in the camera roll, when I press the one icon on the right, I get all of the 7 icons, and each does something slightly different and funky to your diagram. The bottom one is an arrow, and so I will draw an arrow to one of the socks. I can change the color, right, by highlighting the arrow and then choosing the color mode. I can change the size by highlighting the arrow and choosing the smaller icon. So the function of the color is to both change the color and to change the width of the arrow. When I press the arrow, I get all 7 icons. Above the arrow is letter writing. Now when I write with the letter writing tool and I type Sox win World Series, and notice there's a little microphone there in the bottom left. When I push return and go back to the picture, if I highlight that, I can do the same 2 things with the color yellow. I can change it to a different color, and I can change the size. No, I can't. Sorry, I have to change the size by dragging from the corner. The rectangle lets you have a shape that you can then put around something that you want to highlight. The marker lets you draw a mark and mark up your picture as if you have a highlighter. Above that is the little icon that gives you these funky things that you can stamp on the screen, and you can stamp and I believe point in a certain direction. So I'm clicking and pointing in a certain direction. You get emoticons, and you can pick them and put them onto your picture as you like. So these are the 7 tools. I think we haven't done the blur tool yet, and the blur tool will let me blur out the socks that are there, perhaps. Now, for the 7 tools that you use on your picture, there's an undo button in the top middle that takes you back 1 step at a time. So notice I'm undoing. When it comes to saving your picture, in the upper right there is a box, and we're going to do that. But before we do that, we left out one option next to the box with an arrow or 3 dots. Those 3 dots let you either clear all the annotations you've been putting on the picture or crop your picture so that you can have a smaller size of the picture. So that's to the left of the hook of the arrow in a box. Now the arrow in a box says share up top, but I would prefer for you to think of it as save. These people who wrote this program, the Skitch program, let's just say that they use share where I would use save. When you choose share, there's the feature to save the image. It takes about 5 seconds and it saves, and then it says share more, but I want you to think of it as saying save more. Why? Because you can now send it to Google Drive, and I recommend you have a Google Drive account, and you're going to upload this picture to Google Drive, and now you've protected with redundancy your picture. I'm going to press the home button, the belly button, and go back to Skitch. When I go share more, which really means save more, I can send it to Dropbox, which is also highly recommended because it gives you a second place or third place to create redundancy and to make sure you have it. Okay. I'll choose save up top, and it's now saving. So pretty easily I've put it on 3 places. One, I've saved it on my iPad. I do have to press the home button, belly button, to go back and go back to Skitch. I've saved it on my iPad. I've saved it on Dropbox. I've saved it in Google Drive. Now in this view of Skitch, it's wanting you to take a picture with the camera. So I will hold the iPad up, and you can see that it gives you a button to press on the right hand side. But above the right hand side, it gives you an arrow and a rectangle. It's a 3-way light switch. So I'm going to press that 3-way light switch and get an arrow. And with one finger, I'm going to move the arrow to the picture of Larry Bird I have in my office. And then I'm going to press the camera picture. And now I'm back in Skitch, and I have an arrow which I thought was pointing to Larry Bird, but it was now pointing a little bit higher. You got it? You're in Skitch, having taken a picture. Up top in the middle it says more tools, and when you press more tools, it gives you your 1 or 2 or 7 tools on the right. You have the option to retake the picture in the upper left. I think we've covered most of the features of this very nice innovation to Skitch, which has been around for a while, but as of January 2014 got some major enhancements. Remember now, you save it with the upper right where it says share, where it really means save. You save it, and then once it's saved, and it takes a few seconds once you press save, right, it's going to say share again, share more, and you have the ability to share or save it a second or third time. One thing we haven't covered yet is that if I go to the bottom strip are the pictures that are in my camera roll. Look on the bottom right and you'll see an arrow or kind of a half of a triangle pointing up. When I press that, I see all the pictures in my camera roll. So on the upper left, you'll actually see the picture we just worked on, which is the Red Sox, and then the picture I took in my office right next to it in the top left. On the upper right, you have 5 icons, 2 of which are remarkably interesting. The top icon is not interesting. All it does is it puts it in the other mode. It moves it to the point where you're looking down. You're looking at the bottom, just the last few. This is my entire camera roll, but when I press this button, I'm looking at the camera view, but I'm looking at the bottom strip, my recent camera roll. So the top is not interesting. The bottom one is not interesting because you have to pay money for it. It's the PDF option that lets you annotate a PDF, but it costs money. You have to have an Evernote premium account. The second one down isn't particularly interesting. It lets you simply create new on a canvas. That's not really too interesting. It's the one that's 3 down and 4 down that are really interesting. The fourth one down looks like a compass. And sure enough, when you click on it, it's a new feature that lets you go on the web somewhere, and then wherever you are on the web, and I'm going to a website, but I'm going to change it, and I'm going to get rid of this website, and I'm going to go to, where should I go? I'm going to go to summercore.com. And when you're on that website, there's a little word in the bottom right that says Snap. And you can go to it, any website, and then click Snap, 1, 2, 3, Snap, and it takes a picture of the website you're on, the screen of the website, and now you're going to have the 7 tools of Skitch to modify and to work on. You got it? You go to New, you go to where you're going to see your whole camera roll, and it's the fourth one down that's a compass that lets you go to a website, and then look in the bottom right, it says Snap, and in the bottom left, it says Cancel. The one right above the compass looks like a rubber stamp, but I can't really describe that icon, so I'll just call it the third one down. That also is interesting. It gives you a map and lets you go to any location you want, and you can type that location in, but I'm going to do something more interesting, and I'm going to use the microphone. So here we go. I'm going to press the microphone and then say something. 1, 2, 3. Empire State Building. Good, it got my voice. It typed it in, I did not. I go search. It finds it in New York, and now I can use my 2 fingers to zoom in, and pretty soon we'll be in Manhattan. And we will be in the area of the Empire State Building, right over there. And then you'll find the word Snap in the upper right instead of the bottom right, but it's in red. And when you press Snap, it takes a picture, a screen snapshot of what's on the screen. And now you've got your Skitch tools again. By going and clicking on one tool, you've got all of them. All right, so this is Steve Bergen signing off, and hope you do some neat things with Skitch and use this as a very cool graphic utility. Even more important is hope you get your students to use it and do some interesting educational projects where they have to mark up a diagram or a map and do something that's educationally sound, because that's what this is all about. Thanks, everybody. Bye.